Based on Y&R's brand asset valuation, we set out to understand what's been happening in the crisis with the consumer marketplace. We found a couple of really interesting things. We're going to go through 4 values shifts that we see driving new consumer behaviors that offer new management principles. The first cultural value shift we see is this tendency towards something we call liquid life. As a result, déclassé consumption is in. It makes you look a little bit anti-fashion. So let's look at some examples of this déclassé consumption that falls out of this value. We see high-end haggling in fashion today, high-end haggling for luxury and real estate. We also see just a relaxing of ego and sort of a dismantling of artifice. We also see the trend toward tourism that's a little bit more low-key, right? Agritourism, going to vineyards and going to farms. And marketers are starting to understand. The third of the 4 laws of post-crisis consumerism is about durable living. We're seeing in our data that consumers are realizing this is a marathon, not a sprint. They're digging in and they're looking for ways to extract value out of every purchase that they make. Witness the fact that Americans are holding onto their cars longer than ever before, 9.4 years on average in March, a record. We also see the fact that libraries have become a huge resource for America. Did you know that 68% of Americans now carry a library card, the highest percentage ever in our nation's history? So what you see in this trend is also the accumulation of knowledge. Continuing education is up. Everything is focused on betterment and training and development and moving forward. So what brands can do and companies is pay dividends to consumers, be a brand that lasts, offer transparency, promise you're going to be there beyond today's sale. Perfect example of that is Patagonia. Patagonia's Footprint Chronicles basically goes through and tracks every product that they make and gives you social responsibility and helps you understand the ethics that are behind the product that they make. Another great example is Fidelity. Rather than instant cashback rewards on your credit or debit purchases, this is about 529 rewards for your student education. So the fourth sort of post-crisis consumerism that we see is this movement about return to the fold. It's incredibly important right now. Trust is not parceled out, as we all know. It's now about connecting to your communities, connecting to your social networks. In my book, I talked about the fact that 72% of people trust what other people say about a brand or a company versus 15% on advertising. And then they did a recent report I thought was fascinating. They actually started in certain communities in the United States start to publish people's electricity usage. And what they found out is when that was available for public record, the people's electricity usage in those communities as well. You see this rising force in sort of total transparency and openness that companies are starting to adopt, all because the consumer is